If you don't mind,
Yeah, I guess, hello everyone. So today we have yet another company introduction webinar. And this time it's a new company. The company participates in the X-Culture competition for the first time. And so the name is, and let me know if I pronounce that correctly. So is it G2 Capacitation, or how do you pronounce the name of the company? What's the proper way to do it?
It's Hedos Capacitación, but you can pronounce it as G2 you want.
All right. So, well, maybe before we even get into the introduction of people, so can you tell us what the name means, like what G2 stands for? And what that Capacitation stands for? So where did the name come from?
Adela can help us better with
G2 Capacitación or G2 Capacitation is part of a group that is called Grupo Círculo 12. That's why it's GC. Yeah. And we have take the three principal letters to have the names company that are part of the group. We have G2 Risk Control Engineering and the G2 Capacitation.
Yeah.
That's why.
All right. So, and we have here two representatives of the company. So Adela Leyva and Angie Serratos. And so we will start with a short introduction of the company itself, and then students obviously watching now, if you have any questions, you can put them in Q&A in the Q&A window or in the chat window. I did receive a few questions via email from students who have classes at this time and couldn't attend live. I'll ask them later as well. And I think I'll turn the microphone over to you so that you can do the company presentation, and then we'll revert to the questions and answers.
Okay, thank you. Let me screen share again. Okay, do you see my screen now, or is it loading?
Yes, we see it.
Okay, so very fast, G2 Capacitación is a company dedicated to searching and providing the best capacitation for professionals in Mexico. Right now, we are located in Mexico City, but due to the pandemic situation, we had to migrate to the online method. So we are giving our classes and courses through Zoom. Okay, so G2 was born in 2019 from the joint venture between Certeza and Grupo Círculo 12. Certeza is my family's company. We were dedicated to the mental health awareness and forming therapists, especially in psychology and tanatology. But with the pass of time, we couldn't we were giving conferences in the TV, the radio, and we were called to other parts of Mexico to give our courses and conferences. Plus we were giving therapy. So the demand was bigger and bigger, and there was a point where we couldn't handle it. So we decided to join forces with Grupo Círculo 12, which is another family-owned business, and that is a company holding on various headings as risk engineering and architecture. So we joined forces and we decided to create the heading for capacitation. Our goal here is to contribute positively to improving education and economic matters in Mexico and Latin America through labor and business capacitation. So we give capacitation for professionals to improve their labor skills. What is a labor skill? So when you ask for a job, you need to prove you have certain skills. In G2 Capacitación, we train you to get those skills. And then we have like the support from the Mexican government and the Mexican Education Secretary. So we can give you the necessary paperwork so you can prove you have those skills. What we do is that we give a course, then the students can do a certification and the government will give them the necessary paperwork. And this paperwork proves that they have the latest knowledge in the area. We have certifications in areas for psychology and tanatology, and also we have other courses in areas as criminology and laws. We focus a lot on the therapist training to take what we left behind with Certeza. So our star products are our Tanatology diploma courses. First, I would like to tell you what Tanatology is. Tanatology is a scientific discipline that helps people to deal with loss and death and the pain that it might get. So as it is a scientific discipline and not a science yet because of the time it has been explored, you cannot form as a thanatologist in a career. You need to do a diploma course, and that's where we enter. So what a thanatologist does is that they accompany the people who are facing a death process. Maybe they are sick or they know they will leave this world soon, and they help them accept it and say goodbye to what they leave behind and go in peace. And as well with the family and the loved ones that stay here, they help them to accept it, deal with the sadness and the anger it might cause, and also to see the loss as something natural, something that is part of life. Because as you may know, since the minute we come into this world, we leave our mommy's bellies behind, so there is a loss. Then we grow older and we lose our teeth, or we may leave the primary school to go into high school, and that's losses all the time. And even that, which is like the hardest one. So a thanatology is what helps people to realize this is natural and this is something we will all face. Okay, so in Mexico, Capacitation is one of the top places to form as a thanatologist because we have quality and we have good prices. Some benefits we give that are a difference from our competitors is that we give the courses through Zoom, and then if you can join at the time we're giving them, you can access to the recordings later. And we also give all the necessary materials that you will need for your capacitation as a thanatologist. Our courses have approximately 100 to 200 students per class. They are made up by 20 classes, and the prices go around $500, which are approximately 7,000 pesos. And right now we have like some facilities for people who are dealing with all the pandemic problems, so we can adapt. And we have 4 main diploma courses. The first one is the General Thanatology Diploma course, when you will learn there how to become a thanatologist, all the basic aspects, the legal aspects and that stuff. And also you will do a review of your own life, because to become a thanatologist is very important that you are aware of your own life and your own losses that you face in your life. Then we have 2 specialties, the geriatric thanatology and thanatology in infants and adolescents, because it's very different the way you treat loss and the concept you have of death when you're a kid, when you're a teenager, and then when you are an older person. And we also have the diploma course in holistic thanatology. So recently, spirituality was approved as a tool to cope with loss and death. So in this diploma course, we give our therapists tools to work with energetic therapies and natural medicine. So they have a wider range of tools to face and not just like the psychological ones. So something very important to stand out is that the thanatologists work with every single religious belief or other set of beliefs. It doesn't matter. So now moving on to what we are looking for and what we are asking your help with is that we want to open our courses to more Spanish-speaking people in the world. Because right now our marketing strategy is like this. We talk with our professors, we design the course, and we do like a brief summary. Then we take that brief summary and we post it onto Facebook. We pay for an ad there, but we only segment in Mexico right now. So we want to open up to more Spanish-speaking people, because as you may know, with the whole situation that we are facing as a society right now, we are a society in pain all the time. And we want to help more people to deal with the losses that the pandemic brought us, since talking about deaths, talking about how our lifestyle changed. And we are just giving out the courses in Spanish right now, but if you have any proposal for other languages, we are open to it. And something I would really like to stand out here is that, as you may know, in Mexican culture, we talk openly about death. I don't know if you may have seen the Pixar movie Coco, but that's like an approach of how we treat death here in Mexico. But we know that not all the cultures and not in all the countries, they see that like this. So we would also like to approach softly and very respectful to all the beliefs. And as I said before, here in Mexico, we have the legal support of the government to give you all the paperwork that you will need to prove you're a thanatologist. But we would like also to know how we could get that paperwork in other countries so we could also give the best quality in our services. And then with all that being said, we would like to answer all your questions.
Very interesting. So the product then is what, the certification or the actual classes or both? So do you offer just the certification, like the exam and the piece of paper, or there is actually a training involved?
Yeah, we have the training. That's why we have the diploma courses. And at the end of this diploma course, you would get your diploma and the necessary paperwork to support your thanatologist.
And just to review, so what other courses are you offering? You also mentioned psychology, and there are some additional courses.
Yes, we offer regularly. Every week we change with master classes to help prepare more detailed into the professionals. We have a lot of master classes for thanatologists, but our top product are the diploma courses because you would get a more wide view on it.
Yeah. Okay. And then, so how long are the courses again? So like, how long does the course last normally?
We have our diploma courses last 10 months.
10 months?
We have 2 classes per month, so that would be 20 classes.
So are they synchronous or asynchronous? Do the students need to interact with the teacher live, or is it kind of pre-recorded lectures and readings that students do at their own time?
We have both options. They are like mainly live on Zoom. They would connect and they can interact with the teacher. But we also give the service that we open a classroom in Google Classroom and we take our recordings there. So there we also put some support materials and they can contact the teachers from there. So if they see the recordings and they have any doubts, we are open to solve them.
I see. So is it cohort based? Like there is a group of students moving together, or anyone can enroll at any time whenever they have time?
So we open the courses like regularly. We have like every approximately 5 months or so, if I am correct. Yeah. And we have those groups. If the group is a little advanced, they can still join, but we do like to have like the groups.
So there would be like a group-based approach or a cohort-based approach, right?
Yeah.
Now, there was a question a little earlier. Is the company private since it's education? Do you have any relationship with the government, or it's a purely private company and initiative?
We are private, but we do have the legal support of the government.
And then but you offer your work on your own, right? So it's not in collaboration like with the Ministry of Education or anything like that.
No, we do it on our own.
Got it. So, and then if people want to get certified, they still have to complete the course, right? It's not I can just come take the test and get certification. I would still need to complete the course before the certification happens.
Yeah. They need to complete it.
There was also a question a little earlier. So why the science of dealing with the loss? I mean, this is a very unusual topic. So how did you arrive at this specific topic? Why not something else, for example?
So our director, or one of our 2 directors, who is Isabel Subiria, she's a very experienced thanatologist and she has been working with death over 20 years. So she's one of our member founders and she like wrote everything. She came from Certeza was her company, and she wrote all the labor she was doing because, as you may know, there are not many specialists who treat these topics.
Yes.
And we do consider it something that it's part of life and that we have to learn how to deal with it.
Of course, yeah. Is there a competition, like other companies that offer this kind of product or training?
Yes,
Yes.
nowadays they are offering, but we started before the pandemic. So as it is growing up, other people start also trying to help because, as you know, we are a very populated country.
Yes.
So as many as we can help, there is a lot of offer now.
Yeah, I can imagine. So how old is the company? How long have you been around?
With Health Capacitation, we've been working since 2019. So we are relatively young.
Yeah, and you, the company was founded, the program was launched before COVID, so COVID has nothing to do with it. It just coincided perhaps that there is a little bit more loss in the past 2 years, right? So that was not prompted by COVID.
Yeah, we started working before, even before with Certeza, but then when the COVID started, we wanted to help more people.
Yeah.
So that's why we lower our prices, and having the opportunity to work through Zoom, that helped us to reach more people. And that's like one of our main motivations, to help people.
Exactly. And so there was another question, and you mentioned, oh, sorry, go ahead, Adele.
Let me say something. This is really important for us to reach more people because, as you know, or maybe you know, the country is divided into big zones, the north zone that is developed and the south zone. So as when we see the opportunity to get the people from the south that can help us to help more people at that country, at that cities, we started seeing the opportunity going through the other states, not only the Mexico City, Guadalajara, or Monterrey. We would like to be in the other states.
So you did mention that currently you offer training in Spanish only, right? So, but are you open to expand into other languages, or I mean, Spanish obviously it's a very popular language. At least in Latin America, you have a huge number of people.
Yeah.
But so can you expand a little bit more and tell us more about the languages? Like, for example, moving into, let's say, Colombia, would that require any additional sort of adjustment? I don't know how different the versions of Spanish are, like Ecuador, Colombia, Mexico. I know it's all Spanish, but I suspect there will be some
it depends on.
So would it be perfectly suitable and you just go ahead, or would it require some adjustment?
No, it would be perfectly suitable. Like right now, we have also had some students from Argentina. So yeah, it's not a problem. Even Spain wouldn't be a problem. Like.
And obviously, I mean, from what I hear, at least the two of you definitely speak English, and I assume most of your employees probably have some fluency in English. So if there was demand from other countries in, for example, English, it sounds like you would be able to satisfy that too, right?
Yeah, but yes, there is no problem. But I think that the main issue here is that we have also people that is English native speaker, but they also speak Spanish. So it could be interesting to share with them this kind of knowledge.
There was one question earlier, actually this one was from a professor. So as we were looking at your challenge in general, so one question was, would it be sort of feasible for you to, instead of offering your own training and certification in other countries, to instead find some sort of partners or maybe franchisees in those countries? So where the relationships is such where you provide the training for the trainers and the materials, and then they represent you and pay some sort of a license fee or franchising fee to you. Would you be open to that sort of collaboration?
Yes, of course, without problem.
Because it sounds to me that developing a course like that takes a lot of energy and time. And so maybe some companies would just buy the sort of your license and then represent you and pay you for the use of the course.
In fact, in our planning expansion, one of the next steps is to have the franchise.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, because when the courses want the presential, I mean in person, it take a lot of effort. So when this some technology, we can reach more, but it would be easier. And according to our mission and proposal, helping people would be easier having representing in each country that can give the proper work.
Yeah. Makes perfect sense. And again, it probably sounds, we'll see what the students come up with, but it seems to me, since Spanish is the language currently used for instruction, it seems to me there are so many countries around Mexico. I mean, Mexico itself is a huge country, obviously.
Yes.
But then the Latin America, once you go further south, you have a few 100 million people combined living there as well. So it's a huge, huge market. So perhaps before moving into, I don't know, Asia or Africa or Europe, I mean, you have enough markets to conquer. Another thing that occurs to me, that in the United States, more and more people
Yes.
speak Spanish, and at least in
Yeah.
southern states, it almost sometimes seems like the majority speak Spanish. And so it seems like a good
Yeah.
market to me too, right?
Yes, to start,
Yeah.
just to start with the USA, that we have the many Mexican
Yeah.
and also Spanish speakers.
Can you tell us a little bit more about your current advertisement practices? So you mentioned that you advertise on social media. So which ones do you use? What are the challenges? And to be honest here, I'm sort of also selfishly interested. So I've been running some ads online for a while for some of the businesses that I'm involved with. And it's not an easy game. I mean, it seems like, you just place an ad. No, in reality, some things work, some things don't. Facebook changes the algorithm. What worked a few months ago, all of a sudden doesn't work anymore. So what is your approach? Which channels do you use for advertisement, and how has been your experience so far?
So currently we are using Facebook and a little bit Instagram.
Mm-hmm.
We have been training these parts, so we segment like very specifically. Nowadays we just segment Mexico, and our clients usually are like psychologists, lawyers, and people interested on the mental health area. And then what we do is, once they are interested and they send a message, our sales representatives like give them a very detailed following. As we are a family-owned business, practically, we like to give our clients that sense. We like to make them feel part of a family, and that's something that has really helped.
Mm-hmm. And so the ads that you run, are you doing them yourselves, or you have some sort of an external company that helps you with that?
No, we are doing by ourselves.
Yeah. Same thing with us. We tried working with some external companies, and to be honest, it's a long story, but in many cases, they still go through the same experimentation. It's a unique product, so most of them don't have experience with it. And so it's almost easier to learn yourself what works, what doesn't, than to pay someone else to do it. So, but in any case, yeah. So I'm looking at your challenge here. So just to make sure that we have the full instruction, maybe I'll share my screen. And so just review quickly so that the students know what they need to focus on. So first you ask for the industry and competition analysis. That's clear. And you already gave us some information. The students shouldn't have difficulties conducting the research. One thing I would say maybe for the students is that it might be not a bad idea perhaps to interview some of your own friends, maybe family members, and see if they know anything about these kinds of courses. Would they be interested in maybe taking some of them? So perhaps, just to better understand the sort of psychology of the customers. So, but this is a very clear question. Then you also ask about the new market selection and analysis. So you basically ask where would be the new market. And so I think there is really, again, it's a clear question. So the student shouldn't have any difficulties interpreting what you need. But just to recap, so it sounds like you're primarily interested in Latin America at this time, but you're open to expand into any other country as long as there is demand. Did I understand that correctly? So there is no restriction at this time as to which countries you are ready to expand into.
No, like our principal goal would be to expand to Spanish-speaking countries. But as we said before, we don't have like a problem. As more people as we can reach, the better.
Yeah, wonderful. Then you also ask for some ideas for marketing and promotion, and you shared with us how you do marketing and promotion. But one thing that comes to my mind, so one more time, then who are the potential customers? So you mentioned lawyers, psychologists. So what is the sort of the typical client persona or profile? What are the people you're trying to reach here so normally? or in your experience so far, who are the typical customers?
We started with people involved in mental health, but we discovered that everyone needs to learn about these tools because you don't know when you can support someone.
Yeah.
So if you can read and you can write and you can understand, and you are, of course, in the age, how do you say mayor de edad?
Yeah, on a legal age.
Yeah.
On a legal age, you can support someone that is near to you. So if you have clarity in the concepts, that is something that is happening to everyone, and you can help, because so many times you don't have the opportunity to go through the therapist or to have that kind of help. But if you are prepared and you can support your neighbor, it is going to be healthy for everyone.
Yeah, if I, sorry.
Go ahead, Angie.
If I may add, like our main customers are people involving mental health professions, but
Like
we also have,
like psychological counseling experts, that kind of stuff.
yeah, also we have lawyers and yeah, all kinds of therapists, even the ones with energetic therapies. But we also have a wide population of people who have recently lost someone or who are expecting to lose someone, and they are seeking these kind of courses for their own help and their own mental health.
Yeah. But it sounds like the training is not limited only to the professionals who do it as part of their job. So it sounds like anyone can take the course. Like, let's say, for example, I don't work in mental health or anything related to the law or any kind of counseling. But it sounds like if I wanted to take the course just to be either prepared or maybe open a new practice, that's available to me as well. Like, it doesn't have to be specific.
Yes, of course.
Yeah. Mainly for people who work in the human resources areas, also people who deal with other people on a daily basis, maybe teachers also.
Yeah. Or maybe like school counselors or something like that. Yeah. Okay. And so here, obviously, yeah. So the question then is, what is the best way to reach those potential customers? Obviously, social media, but could it be maybe some sort of mailing list or magazines? What should be the message? And then maybe even include students some form of a mock-up of the promotional materials, maybe an ad or maybe some other pamphlet. So if you can design something that could be used for promotion. And then also for the business development, there are a few questions I see here. So we have the entry mode part. So if the company expands into a new market, should it be done alone, or should it be done in a collaboration with another company or agency, maybe some sort of a joint venture or some sort of an alliance or a partnership? And then the question also includes, so if you recommend a partnership, so what would be that company or agency that the client should partner with? And so think about that. And then obviously, because this involves training, so are there any trade regulations, certifications, or any other requirements in the country that you recommend? I imagine that most countries probably wouldn't have any certification requirements, but I don't know, maybe in some countries there may be some sort of restrictions, so you might want to do that. And then finally, pricing. And by the way, I did have a question about that. So do you charge at this time one fixed price, or is it like a subscription where people pay on a monthly basis? Or how does it work with the pricing? Like, how do you charge the fee for the course?
Yeah, so we have two options. You can pay per class or you can pay per month. And also we have some students who decide to pay the whole course since the beginning. But yeah, our main structures are per class or per month.
Yeah, makes sense. So, but yes, one of the question is, what should be the price based on your research for that country? How should it be charged? I'm not sure, maybe some group rates or some other forms. And that's basically the list of the questions. And then obviously the rest of the report, the students will see, you will see that there are some instructions as for the formatting of the report, and then also the schedule. So what you need to do at which time. So this part is standard for all of the challenges. There was one question from one student where they can see the full list of companies. So again, if you just joined the project, if you go to the resource page, the X-Culture resource page, you have the link in your welcome email. So that's where you will see information about the X-Culture project. But then when you go down the list here, you will see the list of challenges. And so we have about a dozen companies, 10 or so. And so the G2 is right here. Where's the, oh, it's not on the list at this time. So we need to add that right away. But yes, that's where you will see the full list of the companies and the challenges. And and I'll add that right away. So it seems like, so we opened it up a couple of days ago and it seems like one company is not on the list yet. So we'll add that right away. So, and for now, I'll put the link in the chat just in case somebody wants to take a look at the document right away. So I'll put it right here in the chat window. So for the students watching right now. All right, so I don't have any additional questions. So students, if you have any questions, now is a good time to ask. Otherwise, what will happen next is the students will start working on the challenge. There will be probably questions from time to time. And so what we do is we create a database of the frequently asked questions. And so this way, if the question is the same, we've seen it before, we know the answer, we will simply copy and paste the answer and send it to the student. But occasionally there may be new questions, so something that we haven't seen before. And if that happens, then we will reach out to you for more information. So there will be probably more questions towards the end of the project as students are trying to finish everything. That's usually where we see more questions, but there may be some throughout the project. And yeah, and we'll see what kind of ideas the students come up with. And so if everything goes fine, we should have the reports ready for you in a couple of months. So, and then we will contact you probably in a few weeks. We'll see, maybe we will schedule another webinar sometime in the middle of the project. If at that time students have a lot of questions, sometimes it's kind of more efficient to have a meeting like this and answer their questions. And we'll see how the things go at that time. All right. Okay. Well, thank you so much for your time and for the information and for the presentation. A very interesting company, obviously very interesting product. So learning something new every day. And let's hope that the students will bring lots of interesting ideas. Okay.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye-bye.